Hello everyone and welcome to Long's Toys. I have another Tomica Hyper Series review for you today. This is the HBP SP Dragnil armor set. I'm not really sure what Dragnil means, but that's what it's called. HBP stands for Hyper Blue Police, and basically this is SP for special because it's not one of the numbered line. It's kind of a conglomeration of three other sets. So basically a lot of the other sets would be one of these kind of vehicle pieces with a car, and then you could take apart the vehicle and attach it to the car. This one is three sets of like armor pieces and one car that you can either build separately or build all together into this right here. So it's kind of a cool deal, and you can see it kind of illustrates that again there on the top. Not really much going on the bottom. This just shows all the other cars and sets in the Hyper Police line, and I'll try to zoom in on this and get it to focus a little bit. So these are some of the other sets where it's one car and then the other pieces that you can build into a vehicle or attach to the car. I've already reviewed this. I believe I've reviewed all these except number 9. I think number 9 is the only one I don't have. Pretty sure I've done 8, 10, 11, 12, and 13. And then on this side, again, it just kind of shows you can make all kinds of different stuff. This is the kind of suggested configuration for combining all the pieces in the box. But of course, anything you can dream up, you can mix and match and build your own stuff, of course. Again, this just kind of shows all the pieces you get. So that's pretty much it for the box. Let's go ahead and get everything out and we'll take a closer look. So this is everything that comes in the box. If you've watched my other reviews, you probably recognize these vehicle assemblies with the pieces. You have the jet. You have the kind of little raptor looking guy. I like this a lot. And then you have the kind of drill tank. And as I've stated, we've seen these before in different color schemes with other cars. You also get this new car. I really like the color scheme here. You have the red and the white with the green windows and a couple of little gold accents. And then this does open up. It's kind of hard to get your finger in here. There we go. But it does open, and you can see the engine inside, which is pretty cool. Now you may notice that unlike the rest of the sets in this line, this car does not have any connection ports to it itself. Instead, they give you this kind of cage or chassis piece that you slip the car into, and then all the connection ports are on this. So interesting way to do it. It doesn't super snap in, it's a little loose, but it stays in there. This top piece is spring loaded, so that kind of keeps the car in place. So I appreciate that. You also get these extra little connector bits. And you will need these for the ultimate configuration, I guess I should say. What the box has, you combine all the pieces together. So these come apart here. These guns can come off. This can come off, and there's another piece here that can come off. The legs detach. And as far as articulation goes, anything that's a peg, obviously, you can move it around because it's just a peg and a peg hole. There's a little ball joint here for the little raptor hands. And then for the drill tank, the drill can come off. This is a separate piece. These two tank tread pieces are separate, as well as there's each tank tread comes apart into two pieces. So I think it's pretty cool. It's a nice way, if you couldn't get a hold of the other sets, it's a nice way to kind of get, a nice array of things all in one box. So if you are looking for a way to kind of get 3 in 1, you can do that. But now I'll go ahead and I'll show you how to combine these all together. So the directions kind of have you start off building 2 separate pieces that you could easily use on their own, and then they can combine together very simply. So I'm just going to go ahead and pretty much take these all apart. It's almost like a Mugenbein in that way, where you kind of have to take everything apart. Now, if I remember correctly, for the first assembly, we don't need these pieces or the hands. You can take the feet off of the hind legs of the raptor and put them off to the side. And I think we use everything else. So we start off with this large section from the drill tank. And you're going to take the front section of the jet off and peg that onto the back. Just like that. Then you're going to take the two hind legs of the raptor and you're going to connect them right here on the sides using the lower, using the lower peg like this. So it'll look like that when you're done. Then we're going to take the wings, take them off of this midsection, and we have to move the guns from the middle to the outer peg hole on the wings so that they'll fit. And then you're going to peg this peg hole into that socket. They're a little loose on mine. I don't know if it's like that for everybody, but so you kind of have this back wing assembly here. Next, you're going to take this piece and you're going to pop this from the front and then just pop it onto the back. And then peg that in there, and then peg the drill onto the front. And so this gives you this kind of long jet looking vehicle with a giant drill on the front. But it's kind of neat. I kind of like it. So we're going to put this off to the side and start building the second piece. So here we have the pieces that are left over. Going to take the car and slide that in there. Take these two connector pieces and put them here on the sides. And then take this connector piece and plug it into the back here. Take the tail and plug that in. Take the head of the raptor and put that on this way. Now you can't really peg this in as far as it'll go because otherwise the gold barrels here on the back of the head of the raptor will butt up against that. So just kind of make it so that it fits. Peg it in as far as you can so that it still fits. These raptor hands are going to peg onto these connectors that we put in. Just like that. These little raptor hands are going to peg underneath. There like that. Then you're going to take the tank treads and take them apart. And then you're going to switch. Let me make sure I'm doing this right. So you'll have, this will be a side of a leg, and you'll take the other one and kind of make legs out of it. Like that. So there you go. And then you'll take this and peg it in right here. So this is kind of the second, I don't know, vehicle, I guess you could say. And it's kind of neat. It's kind of like a strange animal. It's got like 4 claws, it's got legs, and it's got a big tail with a car in the middle. So it's like a new car dinosaur type weird thing. So then you're going to bring in this, and I did forget to mention, you have these 2 little connectors here. They're going to peg on right here to kind of make these look like blasters, like the barrel of a gun. So there you go. They go on there. And then literally you're just going to put this peg on this hole in the top, and so that they'll combine like this. And sometimes you have to kind of angle the feet a little forward to get this to work. And then once you have it pegged in, you can kind of put the legs back. And then he'll kind of balance on the feet and the tail. And then here you go. You have this kind of crazy jet walker configuration. I kind of like it in the way that it's easy. Like if you wanted this to kind of go into battle, and then you could, have the jet detach easily, and that could take off while the walker's still kind of almost like Skylinks. It kind of reminds me of Skylinks from G1 Transformers, where you have the space shuttle on top of the Lion, and then they can easily just detach and become two separate entities. So I like that about this. And then if you want, you can completely take it apart and have the car and the 3 separate vehicles. So there's a lot of playability here. I like it a lot. Yes, it's a reissue of sets that already exist, just repainted, and I get that because they wanted to give it a cohesive color scheme. But I think it works. I mean, if you already have those other 3 sets, you know, I guess technically you don't need this. The only new pieces are the kind of large cage piece in the middle for the car to peg into. Otherwise, you know, if you have those other 3 sets, you might already have all these pieces. And you could try to build this yourself. You just wouldn't have the cage piece, so you'd have to figure out something to use as the... Maybe you could just use a car. If you had a car that actually had ports on the side, you might be able to come up with something very close to this if you had the individual sets. So, you know, really it's your imagination. Whatever you want to come up with. Whatever you can attach together, you can do it, because all the ports and all the pegs and everything are universal. So every set can combine together. It's very similar to Mugenbein in that fashion. So I think this thing is pretty cool. It's definitely a giant cluster of just, you know, pieces all slapped together. But it kind of works. And I definitely like the fact that you can just detach this from the top if it doesn't fall apart on you. And then you can kind of have like a jet and a walker, you know, 2 kind of built up vehicles that then combine together, or you can completely disassemble them into the 3 separate vehicles slash robots. So I think this set's kind of neat. I don't exactly remember how much it was. I want to say it was somewhere in the area of $15 to $20 before shipping. I think it was kind of like $16 if I'm remembering correctly, maybe a little more. But if you think about it, the individual sets are somewhere in the area of like 6 to 10. So yes, you would get 3 cars if you bought those 3 individual sets, but it's kind of like a nice middle ground of getting, you know, the 3 vehicles and 1 car for a little bit less than buying all 3 sets individually. So it's kind of a nice compromise if it's something you're looking for. So again, these are a little bit older at this point, so if you're looking for these, probably eBay, Amazon Japan, something like that. HobbyLink does not have them in stock anymore. I checked recently. I got this one from HobbyLink Japan a long time ago. It was definitely a while ago. But they're not in stock anymore. So I would definitely check eBay or Amazon Japan if you're looking for one of these. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like and share this video, and please subscribe if you haven't already. I hope you've enjoyed this look at the HBP SP Dragnil armor set. And as always, guys, thank you so much for watching.